it gives me great pleasure to welcome one of the men behind it all, Tyler from the band, hanging out on the show. And just before we press play on the Craving, Tyler, for the fans listening right now, is there one thing they need to know before they hear it?
I write the song about my relationship with my wife, but kind of tapped into earlier on in our relationship when I was trying to woo her. But it was interesting. I wrote it at the kitchen table, with a couple of our kids on either side of us. Kind of a crazy time to be thinking back to when we weren't sure if we were going to be a thing or not. And here I was writing a song on the ukulele with two children eating their food on either side of me. So that's kind of where the song came about.
So there's perspective to this, and therefore making it an incredibly special piece of music. The final piece before you hear the new album Clancy on Friday is tonight's hottest record, 21 Pilots and The Craving. 21 Pilots and The Craving on Radio 1, tonight's hottest record. Tyler hanging out with us to talk us through this track, and you're alluding to just how special this piece of music is for you, Tyler. Now having it out there and having lived with it for a little bit, how do you feel hearing it back?
It's a bit of a vulnerable one, but there's something about when you release music, it's not mine anymore. I know it's kind of cliche, but been holding on to this one for over a year now, and it's nice to just let it go. One word of advice for songwriters: don't let your loved ones that you're writing a song about watch you make the sausage, because it makes it way less romantic when they watch you figure out, is this lyric better, or is this chord better? And so she kind of witnessed the creation of that song at the kitchen table over a few months, and it lost its oomph.
Another one of those big lyrics for me is actually the final one. Now I see intentions don't mean much. That feels like a very powerful line to end with on this song. Do you think that also extends into music making for you as well in respects to 21 Pilots?
That's a good correlation. Yeah, I think that a lot of times we hide behind, well, this is what I was intending to do, or intending to say, or intending to create. There's something about just when the rubber meets the road, you got to actually do it. Absolutely, because that family extends further than you and your wife. You're in 21 Pilots. It extends to the fans listening right now in a certain way, doesn't it? And, the Trench story has existed for a number of years now with the album that you released. Why did you feel like now was the moment to continue that journey with Clancy? Oh, man, yeah. I mean, we've been telling this story for a bit over a decade now, and I don't know, for me, it started because it was always just such a great inspiration to tap into, a greater narrative that was kind of threading all of the records together. It was so helpful as a creative tool for me. But as I believe anything that's good needs to end. And so the story that we've been telling, the story of Trench, the story of Clancy and Dima, and all these words that our fans may know what I'm talking about. I've always known that there needs to be a bow on it. There needs to be an ending, and so that's why I'm excited about this record, and how it ends, and kind of what it teases as well. But Josh and I think we'll keep playing music. It's just the story that we've been telling inside of the music that is better off, having a bit of a final bow.
I think that statement there is probably going to maybe even send chills down some fans' spines, actually, hearing that this journey, this Trench Clancy journey, is going to come to an end in some respect with this record. This album holds more weight than some people might even realize.
I think a lot of artists, they like the idea of a concept record. They like the idea of trying to tell a story with their art that's bigger than just the songs that they're making. But then there's a moment where it gets too hard. It's like, maybe we just write a different album about a different concept, and they move on. And it was hard to keep on threading the albums together. There were times where it's like, is this even worth it? And now with the final version of the story, I'm so glad we stuck with it.
Well, referring back to that final line on The Craving to round things off, you set the intentions, and really you had to go and finish the journey, didn't you? And you do that with Clancy. It drops at midnight on Friday, the new album from 21 Pilots, and the final taste of it is Radio 1's hottest record tonight. But let's run it one more time. Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks for having us. Oh man, thank you so much. I hope you like it. Peace.